This video is intended to provide instructions for field marshals of the FC Dallas MLCO's tournaments. You may ask, why do we have field marshals? Florida Youth Soccer Association, the organization that sanctions our tournaments, mandates that we provide field marshals for all games. Field marshals perform team check-in at the field, which helps us keep games on schedule throughout the tournament. Field marshals provide eyes on the field and benches, notifying the site coordinator if there are any problems or injuries. And finally, the field marshal ensures post-game procedures are followed and paperwork is completed. So what do you have to do as a field marshal? The first step is to check in at the site coordinator area or Soccer Central 30 minutes prior to your assigned game. If you're not there by 15 minutes prior, the site coordinator will start calling you and your team manager.
The two coaches need to sign, the referee needs to sign, and this needs to come back. Perfect. You can get the cards and the rosters from each manager, and you can use that to check them in. Okay. Games need to start on time. Here is your vest. Do you have any questions?
What field?
You are on field number 1, which is that way.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good time.
Thanks.
After you received your packet and vest, go to the field and look around for the teams warming up. Find the team manager or coach and tell them you're ready to check in their team. Check in the teams by asking the coach to line up their team. Call out the players one by one and compare the names with those on the team roster. You are not inspecting their equipment. That is the job of the referees. Look at each player and compare the face with the picture. All players must have a valid player card and be on the approved roster to play.
I am John Smith.
John Smith? I'm sorry, John, but I don't have a card for you.
How?
Sorry, you can't play. Bye!
Confirm the coaches also have valid cards. Some coaches will carry their cards separate from the team cards, especially if they coach more than one team. Every coach must have a card to be on the bench. Keep the player cards with you throughout the game. Sit out of the way but visible to everyone and monitor the game. Monitor the crowd. Fans can get excited but should not be harassing the other team or referees excessively. Ask them to refrain from poor conduct, but your best bet is to try and distract or engage rather than confronting them. If you feel a fan is completely out of control, contact the site coordinator.
There you go, Josh. Good job, Josh.
If there is a serious injury that requires an athletic trainer or ambulance, contact the site coordinator immediately. Monitor the bench for registered players versus actual players, and make sure no one new shows up on the bench that you didn't check in. Likewise, monitor the bench for registered coaches versus actual coaches. All coaches must have a valid coaching card to be on the bench. If a parent shows up on the bench without a coach's card, simply ask them to return to the spectator area. If a player receives a red card, they must be escorted to the site coordinator area with their player card. If a parent objects, they can come along, but the player must leave the field per FYSA rules. After delivering the player and their card to the site coordinator, return to the game. If a coach is sent off, he or she must leave the field as well. They do not have to report to the site coordinator area, but must leave the immediate area, such as going to the parking lot. Post-game procedures. When the game is over, ask the refs for permission to return the player cards. Have each coach verify the final score and sign the game report. Make sure the scores are recorded for the correct team and not transposed. Return the player cards to the team manager or coach. Return with the refs to the site coordinator to turn in the field marshal packet and vest. If a ref is in a hurry to get to another game, they will sometimes take the game report themselves. Don't worry, they'll make sure it gets turned in because that's how they get paid. And you're done. In summary, show up 30 minutes prior to game time to get the field marshal packet. Check in both teams. Watch the game and report anything out of the ordinary. Bring red-carded players to the site coordinator area. Ensure the paperwork is completed and turned in. Thanks for volunteering as a field marshal. Our tournaments depend on you.